Ever stop to think that without the Fantastic Four, Marvel might not even exist the way we know it today? Before the Avengers, before the X-Men, even before Spider-Man, it was this dysfunctional family of superheroes that kicked the door open and set the Marvel Universe on fire back in the 60s. A team where science, drama, adventure, and emotion all collide like a lab about to blow up. And the craziest part? Even though they were the originals, they spent decades being overlooked, underestimated, and honestly, kind of mistreated in the movies. But now, that's changing. Today, we're diving deep into the full story of the Fantastic Four, their origins, their most legendary villains, the legacy they left behind, and what the future might look like for them in the MCU. Get ready, because this story is cosmic, intense, and packed with wild sci-fi twists. Drop a comment. Which member do you think is the most powerful? Let's jump in. The spark that lit the Marvel Universe. Before any superhero was slinging webs, rocking a metal suit, or swinging a magic hammer, the Fantastic Four were already out there, paving the way for what would become the biggest shared universe in comic book history. It all started back in 1961, when Marvel was still called Timely Comics, and the legendary Stan Lee was ready to walk away from it all. Tired of writing the same old soulless stories, his wife encouraged him to try something different, something with more depth, emotion, and real human drama. That's when, teamed up with the art genius Jack Kirby, the Fantastic Four were born. A team like nothing anyone had seen before. They didn't wear masks, they didn't hide who they were, and they argued like a real family. The impact was instant. Fantastic Four #1 wasn't just a hit. It kicked off the Silver Age of comics and set the tone for Marvel's whole storytelling vibe. Flawed, relatable characters that felt real. And what's wild is, they weren't fighting bank robbers or gangsters. They were taking on interdimensional monsters, planet-eating aliens, and even time travel. It was this crazy mix of sci-fi and family drama that turned the Fantastic Four into a true pop culture milestone. The origin of Marvel's first family. It all started with a space trip that went horribly wrong. Reed Richards, a brilliant scientist obsessed with pushing the limits of space exploration, convinced his fiancée, Sue Storm, her younger brother Johnny, and his best friend Ben Grimm to join him on a mission beyond Earth's orbit. But what was supposed to be a groundbreaking scientific journey turned into a cosmic disaster. The group got hit by a storm of cosmic rays. Instead of dying, though, they came back with unique powers that would change their lives and the Marvel Universe forever. Reed's body became stretchy like rubber. He became Mr. Fantastic. Sue gained the ability to turn invisible and create force fields, and she became the Invisible Woman. Johnny literally burst into flames and became the Human Torch. And Ben? Well, Ben got hit the hardest. His body turned into solid rock and he gained super strength. He became the Thing, and he'd be stuck like that for life. When they returned to Earth, instead of hiding from the world, they embraced their new reality and formed the Fantastic Four, the first heroes of Marvel's new era. But the coolest part? They weren't just a superhero team, they were a family. They argued, made up, went through tough times, and shared laughs. That real, human chemistry is what made people fall in love with them. The stretchy brain of the team. Imagine a guy with a brain basically on God level, but who still makes huge mistakes because he trusts his own logic way too much. That's Reed Richards, leader of the Fantastic Four, and the one directly responsible for the chaos that created the team in the first place. Reed's the kind of guy who's always living in the future. He's a brilliant scientist who's mastered quantum physics, engineering, time travel, even alternate universes. And sure, his body can stretch in ways we can't even wrap our heads around. But his real superpower is his mind. Thing is, that genius comes with a price. Reed can be cold, hyper-rational, and sometimes treats the people around him like chess pieces. That's caused some serious drama within the team, especially with Sue, his wife. Still, he's the backbone of the group. He's the one who talks down cosmic entities, solves impossible problems with science, and makes insane discoveries like the negative zone or portals to other dimensions. To a lot of fans, Reed is like Tony Stark, but without the ego or the jokes, and with way more responsibility on his shoulders. He's always stuck between saving the world and taking care of his own family. And let's be real, if the team's a machine, Reed is the engine. But now that we've met the brain of the team, it's time to meet the invisible heart, the soul and the shield of the team. If there's one person who keeps the Fantastic Four together, even in the worst moments, it's Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. But don't be fooled, she might vanish from sight, but there's no way you can ignore how important she is, both to the team and beyond. When she was first introduced, Sue was written as the classic damsel in distress, a side character, romantic, kind of fragile. But over time, she had one of the most epic glow-ups in Marvel history. From overlooked and underused, she became one of the most powerful and respected women in the Marvel Universe. Sue doesn't just turn invisible. She creates unbreakable force fields, uses them as weapons, shields, even floating platforms. And in a bunch of stories, she's the one saving the entire team while Reed's stuck solving some crazy equation or Johnny's literally on fire. She's the emotional balance between Reed and Ben, the emotional support for Johnny, and often the moral leader of the team. When things go sideways, Sue's the one who holds it all together. And let's not forget, she's a mom. And not just any mom. The mother of Franklin Richards, one of the most powerful beings in the multiverse. And Valeria Richards, who inherited her dad's genius and is considered one of the smartest minds in all of Marvel. Yeah, cosmic power runs deep in this family. The Invisible Woman proves that underestimating someone because of their name is a huge mistake. She's not just the soul of the team. She's the invisible shield holding this superpowered family together. Now that we've met the mind and the heart of the team, it's time to turn up the heat and meet the fiery spirit of the group. The young and hot-headed spirit.
Sorry, what now?
If you've never shouted that after reading a comic or watching a Fantastic Four movie, did you even live? Johnny Storm, Sue's younger brother, is your classic hot-headed teen with superpowers and explosive charisma. From the very beginning, he's been the symbol of youth in the team. Impulsive, playful, a little full of himself, and yeah, literally on fire, both in powers and personality. When the cosmic rays hit, Johnny turned into a living flame. He can fly at insane speeds, shoot fire blasts, and even go full-on supernova, one of his most dangerous moves. But it's not just about the powers. Johnny brings the fun, the chaos, and the heart. He's the comic relief when things get tense, constantly messing with Ben Grimm, and often the guy who leaps before he thinks, and totally pays the price for it. Still, over the years, he's grown up a lot. He went from reckless teenager to a real hero, with powerful moments of sacrifice and courage. He's led teams, faced threats on his own, and even died to save the universe in some versions. Fun fact, the name Human Torch actually comes from Marvel's Golden Age, when a totally different character, a flaming android, had that title. Stan Lee brought it back and gave it new life, or better yet, new fire. And hey, if you're into this kind of content, deep dives, epic stories, and that perfect hit of nerdy nostalgia, smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite member of the Fantastic Four, and hit subscribe, because there's a lot more epic stuff on the way. Now let's keep going. It's time to meet the most iconic, most tragic, and toughest member of the team, the rocky heart of the team.
No, Vic, it's clobbering time.
That line became an anthem for fans, and the one who made it legendary is none other than Ben Grimm, the one and only thing. But behind all the rock and bone-crushing punches, Ben might just be the most human and most tragic member of the Fantastic Four. Before the cosmic accident, Ben was a tough-as-nails pilot, a loyal friend to Reed Richards, and a war vet. But after the transformation, his body turned into living rock, with insane strength and near invincibility. Unlike the rest of the team, though, Ben couldn't hide what he'd become, and that's where the real pain kicks in. While the others looked like they got powers, Ben felt like he lost his humanity. For decades, his story has been all about loneliness, frustration, and an internal struggle that hits hard. He hated what he saw in the mirror, pushed people away, and constantly broke things around him, even when he didn't mean to. And that made fans love him even more. As tough as he looks, Ben's all heart on the inside. He's the guy who'd lay down his life for his friends, crack self-deprecating jokes, and yeah, even after smashing villains with one punch. cries alone at night. And don't sleep on his strength. Ben's gone toe-to-toe with the Hulk, crushed giant robots, and fought cosmic gods. And he did it all without ever losing his humility. Or that classic grumpy charm. If Reed's the brain, Sue's the soul, and Johnny's the fire, Ben Grimm is the heart of the team. Broken, rocky, but unshakable. The kid who could reshape the universe. If you thought being the kid of two Fantastic Four members was already wild, imagine being one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel before even hitting puberty. That's Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and easily one of the craziest characters ever created in comics. From a super young age, Franklin showed powers that would make even a Celestial nervous. He's an Omega-level mutant who can bend reality, create entire universes, travel through time, rebuild timelines, and yeah, even remake the multiverse with just a thought. Seriously, more than once, Franklin literally created whole new worlds just to save a friend, protect someone he loved, or fix the mess left behind by cosmic villains. And here's the wild part. He didn't always have full control. As a kid, he used to create pocket universes in his sleep. That's why beings like Galactus, the Celestials, even Mephisto kept tabs on him, not knowing if he'd end up being a threat or a savior. But the thing is, Franklin isn't written like some arrogant god. He's a kid, full of doubts, dreams, and scared of messing up. That just makes him even more relatable. He's not trying to rule anything. He just wants to fix what's broken. And this isn't just fan hype. In the 2015 event Secret Wars, when the entire Marvel multiverse was wiped out in a clash of alternate realities, Franklin played a key role in putting it all back together. Alongside Reed Richards and Molecule Man, he literally started creating brand new universes, just using his imagination. It's like he's the architect of existence, reshaping reality the way a kid shapes Play-Doh. And the craziest part? He did all that without trying to conquer anything, just because he wanted to make things right. With Avengers, Secret Wars coming to the MCU, and the Fantastic Four confirmed to be part of this next phase, the rumors around Franklin are heating up. If he actually shows up, he could be the perfect catalyst to rebuild the MCU after the multiverse saga. Franklin's not just the future of the Fantastic Four, he could be the rebirth of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And now that we've talked about the most creative power in the universe, let's take a look at the wildest villains that ever tried to tear this cosmic family apart. The Fantastic Four's most iconic villains. Over the decades, the Fantastic Four have faced a lineup of villains that tested not just their powers, but also their family bonds and moral limits. At the top of the list is the unforgettable Dr. Doom. Victor Von Doom is one of Marvel's most iconic villains, a scientific genius and master of the mystic arts. His rivalry with Reed Richards is the stuff of legends, and his schemes often put the entire world in danger. They've also gone up against the Super Skrull, a powerful alien warrior who has the combined abilities of all four team members. That makes him a serious threat, especially in one-on-one battle. Then there's Annihilus, the ruler of the Negative Zone, a twisted alternate dimension. He's always trying to expand his control and poses a constant threat to our universe. Let's not forget the Mole Man, the first villain the team ever faced. He commands an army of underground creatures and is constantly seeking revenge against the surface world. But few come close to the cosmic threat that is Galactus, the devourer of worlds. Galactus is a cosmic entity beyond human understanding, with an insatiable hunger for life energy. He consumes entire planets just to survive. And wherever he goes, his arrival is always announced by his herald, the Silver Surfer, who scouts for worlds to feed his master. In the Fantastic Four First Steps, Galactus will be played by Ralph Ineson. The movie promises a faithful take on the character, presenting him as an unstoppable force threatening Earth itself. We'll also be introduced to a female version of the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner, who shows up to warn the Fantastic Four about the planet's impending doom. With Galactus now entering the MCU, the Fantastic Four are about to face their biggest challenge yet. And what makes it even more intense? This version of the team is still taking its first steps. It'll be wild to see how they handle a threat of cosmic scale right out of the gate. The Fantastic Four's legacy in the Marvel Universe. The Fantastic Four aren't just another superhero team. They're the foundation of the Marvel Universe, the seed that started it all. Before them, comic book heroes were either way too perfect or straight-up cartoons. But with the Fantastic Four, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby introduced the world to heroes who made mistakes, argued, felt things deeply, and actually lived like real people, even while dealing with threats from across the galaxy. And their legacy goes way beyond just the characters. Some of Marvel's biggest ideas were born in Fantastic Four comics. The multiverse, the negative zone, the Future Foundation, the Silver Surfer, Galactus, the Inhumans, Black Panther, and even the first glimpse of Wakanda. They were also the first superheroes to truly operate like a family. No secret identities, no double lives. They were famous, public, and their family dynamic ended up influencing pretty much every team that came after them, from the Avengers to the X-Men. Outside of comics, the Fantastic Four showed up in classic cartoons from the 60s, 70s, and 90s, plus video games and newer animated shows. Even when they weren't killing it at the box office, they were still a big part of nerd culture. And yeah, maybe they've never really had their moment to shine on the big screen, at least not yet. But their legacy? Untouchable. Without the Fantastic Four, Marvel wouldn't be what it is today. And Stan Lee himself always said, "They were my favorites." Now, after decades out of the spotlight, they're finally coming back in a big way. And the next stop is the big screen. The future of the Fantastic Four on the big screen. After years of questionable adaptations, memes, cancellations, and forgettable versions, the Fantastic Four are finally getting the treatment they deserve in the MCU. And it all kicks off with the Fantastic Four First Steps, hitting theaters this July. But this isn't just another origin story. It's a full-on epic reintroduction of Marvel's first family to a whole new generation. With a stacked cast, a promising director, and a legit villain, the hype is through the roof. Fans are ready to see them team up with the Avengers, lead new missions, and even open the door to storylines like the Future Foundation, the Inhumans, or Annihilation. Bottom line, the future of the Fantastic Four on the big screen has never looked this bright. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like Marvel's finally giving these heroes the massive cosmic spotlight they've always deserved. So, who's your favorite member of the team? Think the new movie's gonna do them justice? Drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and share this with someone who loves a good superhero story. Because this family, they're just getting started.